Okay, so we're going to talk about the seven deadly sins and how they tie into demonology. So the seven deadly sins pretty much originate in medieval Catholicism. In the 6th century, the Pope at the time, Pope Gregory I, compiled a list of the 7 worst sins that you could commit, 7 cardinal sins, 7 deadly sins, and then distributed that information to the masses, and it became a very central part to the moral system of medieval Europe. And then in the 13th century, that list got updated and elaborated on a little bit by another religious leader named St. Thomas. And now we're going to fast forward to the 1500s, and there's this other guy named Peter Bensfield, who is a theologian, a witch hunter, and considers himself somewhat of an expert on demons and witches. And towards the end of his life, Mr. Bensfield puts out a book of sorts, a manifesto, an autobiography, talking about the witch trials and the witch hunts that he assisted in. And the book is called The Confessions of Witches and Warlocks, and it has all of this behind the scenes secret information about the ins and outs of witch hunting and witch trials and witchcraft and demons and all that, from his perspective, of course. And in this book, he categorizes each of the 7 deadly sins that have been around for centuries at this point. He attaches a demon to each of them. Essentially, there is a demon that rules over each of these sins. And according to this list, Lucifer is the demon of pride. Mammon is the demon of greed. Asmodeus is the demon of lust. Leviathan rules over envy. Beelzebub over gluttony. Satan is the demon of wrath. And Belphegor is the demon of laziness. So in response to the comment attached to this video, yes, Beelzebub is associated with one of the 7 deadly sins, the sin of gluttony. Depending on the belief system that you ascribe to, what you incorporate into your practice, if you work with Beelzebub, gluttony might come into play when it comes to working with him. For me specifically, when I started working with him, I found that he very much enjoys very indulgent, gluttonous offerings, and that he might encourage you to partake in indulgent things in his honor. When I started working with him, I found myself, for like the first week that I worked with him, I was craving like so much chocolate. I was eating so much candy, and that isn't normal for me. I indulge in other things. I like my salty snacks, but I ate so much chocolate that I got sick of it and I couldn't eat it for a long time. And that was a very interesting turn of events for me anyway in my practice. So it definitely comes into play. I hope this answers the question and sheds a little light on the subject of the 7 deadly sins. Yay!